Hello and good evening. My name is John. We're here playing Lily of the Valley as part of my Steam cleaning series, where I go through every game in my Steam library eventually, and arbitrarily rate and review them to be able to play time. I don't quite know what this game is. I pick these games out at random. Yeah, preferences. Let's see. Sprite art, new. Okay, so this looks like a text visual novel. New game. Boop. 1, funerals. I hate funerals. I got an achievement. Then again, I think most people do. I can't imagine anyone generally enjoying them. Click. There's not much of a party atmosphere at funerals. Everyone has to wear black. People sit in pews in neat little rows, their head bowed in in a suitable solemnity. Listen to a priest give a long talk. So that's not the best part about a funeral. The best part of the funeral is the wake. The priest is a grave-looking man with high cheekbones, and, though I feel ashamed for even thinking this, looks like a little bit of a villain from a Disney film. That's a protected property. He talks about what a treasure the deceased was, how deeply valued they were in all the community, and what great loss their tragic passing is. Her passing wasn't tragic. If anything, it sounds comical. Something stupid that might have happened in a sketch show, but not real life. She choked on a muffin. Not even a nice muffin, like chocolate or blueberry. Bran. Banana and bran, to be more precise. All right, that doesn't sound so bad. I suppose that's to be expected, though. That she choked on an unpleasant muffin, I mean. Not that she choked on a muffin to begin with. No one could have predicted that. She was on a diet. I don't really know why, though I thought she looked fine. But I don't know a lot about her. I can count the number of times I've been back home over the last decade on one hand. Ever since I went to the university, then got a job, I haven't had time. London's pretty far away, and the travel costs are so expensive. And anyway, it's hard to get time off from work. There was no real pressing reason for me to return either. Though my parents were starting to get on in years, they were still healthy. They worked full-time jobs, went to long walks in the country, and always made time to watch my sister compete in her netball tournaments. I don't know what netball is. They were just fine. I thought they were fine. And then my mother choked to death on a muffin, and here I am now. You can't make it up. Real life can be more unexpected and inexplicable than stories sometimes. Ironically, this is also a story. Oh, that's interesting character art. That's not so bad. My sister trembles on my left, my great aunt Enid on my right. She's wearing something that looks like an old net curtain. Great aunt Enid sniffs, dabbing her eyes with a handkerchief. I can't tell whether she's crying or she has something stuck in her eye. Should I hold Hansel's hand? She's only 18, far too young. This is her first funeral, not like me. I've seen several funerals in my time. I'm a murderer. I guess it's to be expected when you're this old. How old is this? You do not look very old. The first was my mother's mother, Grandma Rose. I was 4 when it happened. I didn't really understand what was going on. After that came Grandpa Len, great aunt Henrietta, and our whole family had Aunt Ruth. She wasn't really an aunt, but she took care of me so often that when I was a child, she might as well have been. She died on holiday in Spain, slipped and fell in the shower, banged her head. She didn't get back up. I think dying in the shower must be a particularly undignified way to go, especially for a woman like Aunt Ruth. She was always shy. I wonder, would be more or less embarrassed dying in a cozy cafe on Stanford Street surrounded by gawking onlookers? I don't know. Maybe it isn't for me to judge. Ranking deaths in order of ridiculousness is probably quite callous thing to do at a funeral. Cassandra said I was callous. She might have even a point. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. Hazel's eyes are wet. She sniffs, wiping her tears away with the back of her arm. I'm her big brother. Oh, okay, so I'm not this character. Okay. I thought this was me. I should hold her hand. Isn't that my job, to provide comfort and companionship? But the gap between her hand and mine seems so large. It's like a chasm. Completely insurmountable. Where's my choice to hold her hand? It's the least you could do. Why am I here? Why am I sitting in this wooden pew in this uncomfortable black suit that's slightly too small for me? I don't like wearing suits. They're so impersonal. You can use them for anything. Weddings, funerals, christenings, even standing at the accused in court. Suits might make you look smarter, but they don't really mean anything. This is a farce, a joke. A joke. I don't see my parents for a year, and when I do, it's like this, in a suit, in a church, with my mother's casket. No way. I can't even bring myself to cry. It's all too ridiculous. Choking on a banana bran muffin. Who could cry over something like that? This person, this main character, seems to be regressing some thoughts. 2. We play a game of Risk. Or Risk. I still can't believe it, said Hazel. She's not the only one. Neither can I. It's only been 5 hours since her mother's body was burnt. Okay, and scattered to the wind. And we, me, my father, my sister, sat around the kitchen table playing. I was right. They are playing Risk. Risk is one of those strange games almost every middle-class family seems to own, but no one actually likes. Playing it takes far too long, and either people don't take it seriously at all, or they take it far too seriously, often resulting in arguments and accusations being flung from one side of the table to the other. Maybe that's why we're playing it. It's some strange form of self-punishment. It might seem boorish or crass, insensitive even, to play a board game that's actually fun, like Cluedo, or Cranium. This person has some takes on the same day of our mother's corpse was cremated. There, dear, said Dad, looking slightly more disheveled than usual. We all have to go someday. Your mother was just, His voice catches his throat. He looks pained. It was just unfortunate, that's all, he finishes. No, that's not what I meant, Hazel said, shaking her head. I mean, the priest, You think he looked like a villain from a Disney film? I asked. Really? Yeah, like the guy from The Hunchback of Notre Dame, the kinky one. Now that you say it, I can kind of see it. Hazel laughs, but not for long. Maybe she feels too guilty to laugh. That is why we're playing Risk, after all. I just meant the priest, Hazel paused as a pain expressed on her face. He kept saying Mom's name wrong. Her name was Eve, not Evelyn. No one called her Evelyn. Why at her funeral? Her shoulders shake. She looked like she was going to cry. It was Mom's funeral. It was supposed to be about her, and he couldn't even get her name right. Hazel, dear Hazel, says Dad. He embraces Hazel, but it doesn't curb her tears. If anything, they seem to intensify. That guy knew nothing about Mom. Absolutely nothing, she said. He never met her before in his life, yet he had the nerve to stand there acting so important, pretending that he cared about her as much as we do. And he couldn't even get her name right. Aw, she's crying. I know, dear, I know. Dad tries to placate her, pressing her back gently. That's just how funerals are, I'm afraid. They're only a formality. But it shouldn't be like that. It was Mom, and she died, and... I know, said Dad, resting his chin down with Hazel's head, letting her cry into his shoulder. Boop. I'm getting old. I've been enough funerals to know the priests don't have to care. They're just doing their jobs. That's all there is to it, he says tiredly. Yeah, at least it's not as bad a great Aunt Henrietta's funeral, I said, attempting to lighten the mood. Boop. What do you mean, said Hazel, blinking away her tears. Her face was wet and crumpled like it's been through a washing machine. Her eyes are rimmed red, her lashes stuck together in clumps. I should have held her hand. Why didn't I hold her hand? I try to offer a smile, but it feels awkward and unnatural. They kept calling Great Aunt Henrietta Harriet. Really? Asked Hazel. Really? I got pretty mad. Ah, Dad nodded his head. I remember that. Didn't your Great Aunt Enid want to file a formal complaint? I think so, but nothing came of it. I don't know if Great Aunt Enid had a leg to stand on, since, though, Aunt Henrietta was called Hermione. The three of us laughed a little, but it was half-hearted, half-formed, and fleeting. The laughter disappeared discordantly without a trace, making us feel uncomfortable in the aftermath. Pretty dark, dire... dire, gloom. Gloomy is the word I wanted. Chapter 3. Cassandra. When are we getting to Lily? A couple of years ago, I used to go to a woman called Cassandra. It wasn't a serious relationship. There was no declarations of endless love or no plans for marriage. We just went out for drinks a couple times a week or occasionally to a film. Sometimes we went back to my place and had sex, and that was it. We were only together for 5 months. It was brief and fleeting, not worth getting upset over. I don't really like her all that much, even though she was quite pretty. She had a nice smile, nice teeth too. But all that time that we went to my apartment several times, I never saw the inside of hers, not once. She said it was because she had a dog at home and her dear little buddy, a stupid American name, and he was her baby. She didn't want Buddy to see us having sex. It would be unethical. Be kind of like a child abuse, you know? Okay. Was what she always said, but not really got it. Could she just lock the bedroom door? Oh no, I can never do that. Buddy's like my baby. What mother would lock away her own baby out of the bedroom? It's unethical. Cassandra said that a lot, about all kinds of things. She couldn't eat veal, it was unethical. She couldn't buy eggs and battery hens, it's unethical. She couldn't support gay marriage, it's unethical. Okay, well, she's got some problems. And also unnatural, but she had nothing against people who were like that, you know? I think she was an issue. But I did stop her going from KFC every once in a while, which apparently is... Cassandra often joked about her name. She said she was all-knowing, all-seeing, like the prophet. What prophet? I remember asking her. The Greek prophet Cassandra, able to see the future, but cursed with never being believed. I think that's kind of like me. Really? Really, everything I say always comes true. It's the positive power of positive thinking. Cassandra was also a therapist. She believed strongly in the power of positive thinking, being able to force yourself out of a rut through sheer willpower. That's not good therapy. It all starts with the brain. The brain is an incredible muscle. You just need to learn to love yourself. Again, not good therapy. I wasn't so sure. Loving myself is kind of hard when I get told every day at work that I'm scum of the earth, I told her. She just sighed and said something vague and unhelpful like, I sense that there is a lot of negative energy surrounding you. I told her that of course there was, and what did she expect? Didn't she know that I worked in a call center? Maybe you should quit your job, was Cassandra's invaluable advice. It sounds like it's upsetting you. Well, yeah, I think it's kind of inevitable. You need to be made of steel not to get worn down doing my job. I see. Cassandra would say that as though she really did see, just like Greek prophet. I, however, had my doubts. You know, something with my patients, something I do with my patients with feeling blue. It's an exercise in positive thinking. Wow, sounds great. Oh, come on, don't bleed like that. Have you ever tried it? Neither do I want to, but I knew I didn't have a choice. You're going to make me, aren't you? Don't be silly. I'm not going to make you do anything. You're my partner, not my patient. I know, but I just want to help you out, make you feel better. Turn that frown upside down. Though she said she wasn't going to make me do anything, Cassandra to be quite persuasive when she wanted to be. She got me to write down a list of my perceived negative qualities on a piece of paper and then write opposing positive things on a different sheet of paper. For instance, my perceived negativity quality was something I was like, I was an awful son and haven't seen my mother in a whole year. Kept putting up calling her because I feel like I'm an embarrassment. I would write, I finished university with a 2.1 in my degree. I would write, and my mother told me she'd never be prouder of me. 2.1 in my degree, and my mother told me she'd never been prouder of me during graduation. On the positive side of the paper. It sounded difficult. I told Cassandra I didn't want to do it. Couldn't we watch TV or something instead? But she was insistent. She said I was just trying to run away from my problems. She said that was called avoidance. And though it was suitable coping mechanism in some cases, it would be far healthier to deal with problems head on. Look, I'll do a list too. That way you won't feel so alone. I guess. And so Cassandra and I worked on our list, filled both positive and negative qualities about ourselves. The negatives were easy. The positives were a lot harder. Right, said Cassandra once we both finished. Now we have to tear the negative sheet paper up. Tear it up? That's right. This is a list to represent all your negative thoughts that are making you unhappy. It's pointless to dwell on them, especially because they easily flipped around by the powers of positive thinking. For instance, Cassandra tapped a pointed fingernail against her list, directing my gaze to one point she's written down. Interested in any hidden secret Cassandra might have buried away beneath her bright smile, I looked. Her negative list was far shorter than mine. And what Cassandra had written on this was, worried about Buddy. I think he might be sick. I remember feeling distinctly cheated on as I read through the two sentences written in Cassandra's loopy, cursive handwriting. Worried about Buddy? That was a negative point about Cassandra. That was her being concerned about the health of her dog. Sorry, her baby. I stared at Cassandra's list and my own, comparing it over and over. I felt more and more dysfunctional with every passing second. While Cassandra was fussing about eating too many dairy leaf triangles, here I was getting worked up about my state of immortal soul. Do most people worry about gaining weight and the health of their pets? Is that really it? That's fair. I think my thought process was something like that. You need to tear up your negative thoughts, Cassandra said again. It's a cleansing process, like detoxing. I don't know about that. Come on, you can do it. I believe in you. Let those negative thoughts go. Just tear them up and don't look back. I tore up the sheet of paper without any real conviction. Cassandra tore as I've heard too. After that, we had something to drink, watched a mediocre movie on TV, then had sex. A week later, Cassandra broke up with me. Buddy had died of liver infection. Aw, poor Buddy. It's an interesting title. Chapter 4, Routine. I think this is a kinetic novel. I was wrong at the top. I'm going to take a look real quick. There is 8 achievements. Okay, there are some choices. Okay, so it comes down for a while. Oh, hide that. Breakfast table. It's kind of a deep read on some stuff. I mean, this character has got some issues, which is fine. That's normal. That's healthy to have things that are concerned. I think we eventually meet Lily. I want to get to the title name of Lily and see who that is. 29. Okay. Finding work, moving around, talk with Dad. Memory. All right, we're gonna go here. Auto forward. Shoop. Auto. Oh, I don't think that worked. Auto. Alright, it's not going as fast as I hope. I just want to meet this Lily. I think the story has a good start to it. Very complex character. It's not about like first meeting. Alright. Is this our Lily? Okay. Ingmar Parker, I don't know who that is. Blonde hair. Hello, mister. She looks 12. I have some questions about that. She is very young. From the funeral. Okay, so maybe something mystical going on here. But again, she looks very young. This is Lily of the Valley. I'm not sure if I can, do a full recommendation or not, but I think the intro is compelling, and is this a redemption tale of the main character? But I like the art style. Like, it's very painterly, and that's kind of rare in visual novels. So yeah, Lily of the Valley. Cheers.